Hi, Climax Shelley, Mr. Christensen here. We are very fortunate today. We have Deputy Cox here at the school, and some of you have asked some amazing questions about what it's like being an officer in Polk County and what he does for his line of work. And so we're going to be asking some of those questions today, and Deputy Cox, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you start off with telling us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Deputy Cox. I work for the Polk County Sheriff's Office. I am based out of Crookston, so just north of here. I think last time I talked to some of the students, they were from Crookston, so they kind of know where that's at. I kind of patrol the west side of Polk County. Polk County is very large. We're about 70 miles east to west and about 50 miles north to south, so I've got this area over here. Some of you have probably seen me in the schools before the COVID hit and everything like that, but yeah, I guess I've been with the Sheriff's Office for coming up on 5 years now in February. I actually know Mr. Christensen from back home, from where I'm originally from. Mr. C actually was my youth director back in the day, so that's kind of how I know him, but we both ended up here, and I've been up in this area for about the last 8-9 years. Like I said, working for the last 5. I guess some of the things I like to do off duty, I'm a big snowmobiler and a big hunter. Those are just a couple things I like to do. Summertime, I work for some farmers around here, keep myself busy and keep myself occupied. So.
This first question is from Maggie. What do you use your car for?
One reason we have our squad cars, or a cop car, squad car is what I call them, is, like I said before, we have a really big area that we cover. And we have to get from point A to point B, no different than you coming to school before COVID-19 hit. But our squad car is a tool. It's no different than some of the things you see on me now. It's something that we use and utilize to do the job. And like I said, to get from point A to point B, sometimes we chase bad guys in them. And sometimes we have to go really fast to get to where we're going because it's a emergency for someone. Someone might be hurt. Someone might be in danger. That's something our squad car can help us do, is get there in a timely manner. So.
Nicholas is asking, what do you do in your job?
So, as a sheriff's deputy, I have a lot of opportunities to help people and do my job in different ways. Obviously, my job consists of a lot of very little things. If you guys ever play with Legos, sometimes there's a lot of different pieces that come together. That's kind of like my job. It's very small pieces. And each piece is a different opportunity to do something, and it all comes together to be my job. And why I do it is I enjoy helping people. I enjoy if someone's in need, that's why they're calling us, or someone has an issue that they need taken care of. They'll call us sometimes if they need any assistance or help with that. That's something I can do to help them and answer the questions that they might have. And again, doing the job is it's very technical sometimes, and there's a lot of different aspects and different parts of it. So.
Abigail wants to know, what do you do when someone speeds?
So when we find someone speeding, we have in our car is a radar, and what the radar can do is it picks up how fast a car is either coming at us, away from us. We have one in the front and one in the back, so we can kind of shoot. It's basically a radio signal, and it shoots it out, and it can detect the cars in front, like I said, and when they're coming at us or away from us. So when we see the speed on it has a little indication, it pops up, and it gives us the speed that the person's going. So we'll make a decision if we want to pull that car over or not based on their speed. So most times cars are coming at us, so then we'll turn around on the car, we'll turn on our lights, catch up, and we'll stop the car. Every once in a while, cars don't stop, and we have to make sure we try to get them to stop to make sure that we're not putting anyone else in danger and keeping you guys safe on the streets. And speeding isn't just the only thing we will stop cars for. There's other things such as running a stop sign, someone not wearing their seat belt, maybe a headlight or tail light out, sometimes no lights at all. And again, a lot of times we're stopping people just to make sure that they're being safe on the road. A lot of those things I just mentioned will keep you guys safe in the vehicle when you guys are driving down the road with mom and dad. So.
Nick wants to know, how do you get a job to be an officer?
So how I started off in law enforcement, when I graduated from high school, I went to college. and I went to University of Minnesota Crookston up in Crookston. And I went to school for a couple different things, but I eventually ended up graduating with criminal justice law enforcement as a degree. And part of the requirements for law enforcement in Minnesota is you have to have a 2-year degree in a, I guess, second level education. So either whether it be a technical school or a 4-year school, you have to have some sort of degree after you graduate high school. And then you have to go to law enforcement skills academy, basically. And some departments in the state will send that to you, and it'll be part of their hiring process. Others, you have to do it before you get hired. So I had to go down to Alexandria Technical School. I was there for 10 weeks as part of my 4-year degree. And Alexandria has a 2-year program for law enforcement that is also, it's just kind of a different way of getting into it. But you have to go to school for at least 2 years. And then once you do that, you apply for a job wherever there might be one or one's open. You have to go through the hiring process there, and sometimes that can be a little challenging. There's the questionnaire part of an interview, the physical aspect of it. They make sure that you don't got anything in your background or anything that you've done in your past that's going to be a hiccup for the job. There's some special requirements you have to do. And then once you get hired on, it's just getting experience and kind of going down the road. So
Sophie is wondering, how far do you travel for your job?
So it's actually kind of nice. I don't have to travel too far to get to my job. Say some people have to travel to work. Well, I get to bring my squad car home, and it parks outside my house. So I walk out and I get in my squad car and I'm at work. But during my day, I can travel upwards to 300-400 miles a day just in my area, depending on how busy or how many calls I get.
Noah is wondering, how many crimes do you see a shift?
So how many calls for service is what we call them. How many calls for service do I get in a day? It just depends on how busy we are. Say sometime in the summer, around 4th of July is always busy for us. Myself, I can have upwards 5-10 calls that I deal with myself. And again, I also have a few other partners that are working in the county. They can also get just as many calls in a day. And again, that doesn't include some of the other agencies between Crookston, East Grand Forks, the State Patrol. We all get as many calls in a day. It just depends on how busy and how many people want to do something they're not supposed to, and depending on the day.
Ava wants to know, how hard is your job?
Just like any job, some days have more difficult than others. It just again depends on what's happening that day. There's some days where I go home and I'm happy. There's other days where I might have had a bad call, had to deal with someone that was being really nasty to me, might have been mean to me. And some days are just better than others, but at the end of the day, my job is very rewarding. I wouldn't say it's hard, it's challenging some days, but that's what makes it so much fun. Is you never know what you're going to get when you go to work. So.
Great questions, kids. Now we're going to go outside and take a look at Deputy Cox's squad car. There's a lot of interesting things to take a look at.
This is my squad car, so it is a 2018 Chevy Tahoe, and I'm on the list to get a new one next year, so I'll have a nice 2021 Tahoe next year to drive around in. But as you can see, I got my lights on right now, so obviously if you guys talk to your parents, if you see flashing red and blue lights behind you, just make sure you can pull over, because when we have our lights on, it means we're just trying to get somewhere quick and make sure we're getting there in a timely manner. So, and we usually have our siren going right here. And if we don't have our siren on, sometimes that means we're just trying to be sneaky, getting to where we want. We don't want the bad guys to know that we're coming. But so those are kind of the lights. We can do a walk around of them here in a little bit, but obviously I got them all around. There's some on the back, some on the front. But you guys can see here, I got this big old piece of metal on the front. So this is my push bumper. And you can see this bottom part here is it's a lot bigger and a lot thicker. So this is for if I'm chasing a bad guy, I can use this and I can try to maneuver his car to try to get him to stop. And I've definitely had about 4 or 5 of these on this squad car. I've definitely used them. They're worth their weight in gold. So they protect not only from damaging the car more, but they protect the internals, the motor, stuff like that, so I can keep going if something bad happens. So that's kind of my car right there. I got my spotlight right here. So if I'm trying to light up the school or something behind you here in the video, I can shine it and it'll light up the whole area. So All right, guys, so this is the inside of my car, and as some of you probably heard earlier, this is my office. This is where I spend most of my day. I can spend sometimes 8 to 10 hours in my car. I got kind of all sorts of stuff up here, so we'll try to get the camera here so you guys can see, but obviously you got my computer right there. That's where I can see if I get a call, they'll put it on the computer and it'll pop up. You can kind of see there's a few calls along the county and everything like that, and as you can see, this area right here, that's kind of where my finger just filled in, that's all of Polk County, and I get this whole area on the west side, so you guys can see how big we are. Just the area that we have to patrol. But so like I said, the inside of my spotlight, I can move it around like this. I have my radar right up here, so that's where I can see how fast people are going. And then you kind of go down below here, it's got my radio. That's how I talk to everyone. I'm gonna move that real quick. This is my basically my control box for all my lights, my siren. I have a PA system that I can use that's right over there. And then this is the radio. This again, it's kind of like my portable radio. I can change all my channels to who I need to talk to and everything like that. If you look across the seat, I just have some miscellaneous stuff. I got my 2 firearms in here just in case I need some little more firepower going into a call, or if there's a really bad guy, I need to use one of them. But and then on the seat over here, I just have a bunch of paperwork, kind of my miscellaneous forms, some extra gear just in case I need anything like that. So, all right, and this is the back seat. So sometimes being in the back seat of a cop car isn't the worst thing, but this is where we put people that are misbehaving. As you can see, we got some bars on the window. Every once in a while, we'll get people that try to kick out our windows, so this kind of prevents them from being able to get out if they're really trying. Same thing, we got a divider between us and them on both sides. I won't lie, they are not built for comfort, so hopefully you guys aren't in here too long. And if I need to give you a ride though, I will put you in the back, but like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world. So, all right, and this is the trunk obviously, so I got some extra gear back here, just I can kind of go through it real quick. But I have these are my spike strips that I can take out and throw on the road if I need to, if there's a bad guy trying to run away from us. Obviously I got my fire extinguisher, put out a few fires with these. You want to make sure that they're securely in there, otherwise they'll flop around and sometimes they'll go off, and that's not very fun. So then I got my my helmet and some of my other stuff just in case I got to go into a bad situation. My gas mask, if I got to throw that on, is right there. I got some other things, my shovel just in case I get stuck in the snow. This is my medical bags. So like I said, we talked about me going to medical calls where I got stuff in there I can treat you. And this is just kind of my evidence container, or my scene processing. So I got evidence bags, fingerprint kit, stuff like that. So if I got to do some NCIC investigation, I can kind of whip that out and kind of go from there. So.
All right, well, thank you very much, Deputy Cox, for talking to us a little bit more about your job. And when we see you around school in the future, we'll make sure that we say hi.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. So stay safe and listen to your teachers, all right? Even if you're not seeing them in person.